missed the live. Like, damn, I hate when y'all miss the live. I wish y'all be around. Like, hit the bell, click the notifications button so when we go live, you don't miss a live. I'm trying to tell you. I told y'all I was going to be active in their off season. We're not taking no time off. I see right now I got some true OGs in the chat. Big shout out, Mary Beanie. Big shout out to Sylvia Whip. Pow. Listen, it's been a crazy day. I really wanted to go on earlier. A lot of things going on. Had a family funeral I had to go to and attend. Unfortunate, very good person. Us as a family lost. So big shout out. Rest in peace, my uncle, Maxim. Take it easy, baby. See you when I see you. Hopefully it's not too soon, though. Good God willing. Other than that, we also have the E-Grudge race that's going to be going on Sunday, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard U.S. time, okay? So adjust your time, set your alarms for whatever that is, wherever you exist, okay? I'm going to start. The free practice session will be open. At 10:30 a.m., all right? For 30 minutes, you will be able to practice. The track is Azerbaijan. That is one of my favorite tracks. Combination of turns, 8 through 11. I love them. I don't love them. I like them. I hate to say I love things that can't love me back. I like them, all right? I really want to see how you all perform on that track. If you want to make sure that you get an invite, then just go ahead and send me a request. It works easier that way. Wolfpack F1 on EA Sports or the actual Xbox console platform. Send me that request. I'll load you up. Peace there, all the family there. Dario, what's up? Philip King, what's going on? Hit me up on there and I'll make sure you get in. Also, the new workstation for editing, for everything that I need to do to try to crank out content, speed up, catch up with all the technology, just arrived today. Missing a couple of components, but hopefully we can get that thing out of the box, start getting it updated, getting it straight. And then, like, sometime, I'm not going to really do anything until after tomorrow, because when you're trying to change up all this crap, trying to change workstations and move stuff around, things can get wonky. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing I know, I can't host the live racing event, so I don't want to take any chances on that. So I'm not going to even try to start integrating that to come online until post the e-race tomorrow. And then I'll start trying to integrate those things in, okay? But the new workstation is in, so I can get a little bit more efficient with my workflow. Streams can be a little bit better over here and all the other good stuff, okay? That's also in. Also, the kart process is going. Humidity is high as hell right now in Georgia. We got a lot of rain, so I couldn't get to start the painting process, but things are taped off. I'm gonna post more pictures of that in the member section so you can see the process of the karts. Today, I will post the little one's kart. That was pretty much done till she works her way around. Might wreck it a few times, then I'll put a custom paint job on that kart, but it is pretty much done, so I will post a picture of that when we get off here. Let's get into these drivers, though. Let's get into that because we got a lot of shit coming up. We got some things that could be spicy coming up. Do you hear me? Things could get really spicy coming up real soon. Big shout out to Seb Farewell, Red Bull Racing's greatest driver and a legend in Formula One, all right? So let's get into this. We got AlphaTauri first, y'all. AlphaTauri. What will you do? Now, Yuki right now, Yuki senior. Yuki is senior there for the time being, all right? So the way it's going to work, I'm going to put up a poll in the chat on each team to see what you all think about the drivers and who do you think will come out on top, all right? So what driver... Numero uno. All right, so we got Yuki and we got Nick. Now we're going to do some comps here. We're going to do some comparisons like if we was in the housing market. All right, we're going to do some comparisons. Now, peep game, 2021, Yuki collects a measly 32 points, ends up 14th in the championship standings. 2022 takes a backslide almost by 50%. Almost by 50% pretty much. 17 points. 17th in the championship standings. Now, his teammate Gasly, on the other hand, 2021, he comes up 110 points, pretty much smashing Yuki, all right? Smashing Yuki. Honestly, I didn't think Yuki was going to make it like his second year, but then you look at the landscape, who would have knew, right? A lot of mistakes, definitely attitude. Like Yuki got little man syndrome. I'm just saying. But then Gasly 2022, he steps back too. He takes a little step back. And, new regulations, new car, but still, Yuki's beat out by Gasly. All right. Gasly beats Yuki out both seasons. Yuki's best result was 4th. Best grid spot was 7th. Now, let's look at some of the other things, because now we got to try to see what's up with Nick and how it comes in with him and Yuki. Nick doesn't necessarily have a butt ton of Formula One experience, but what we do know is Nick got that phone call off the couch. By the way, he was playing F1, right? He's playing F1. The phone rings. Hello, trying to drive. You know how that shit goes, right? You wreck trying to be on the phone to drive. What's going on? This Nick. Nick, we need you to drive. Nick hop off the couch, go put on his helmet and his suit and his block visor, and he gets in the car at Williams, brings it in to a nice grid position, and then brings it into points in a race. Big shout out, Mary Beanie. Hey, Jay, what about the boring Z's FI award show? We could talk about that another time. Definitely, Mary. We'll definitely talk about that another time. We're going to talk about these drivers, but we definitely can talk about that. That was a snooze fest. Definitely. So Nick gets off the couch. So we need to try to compare some comps, right? So Yuki in F2, F2, third in the championship points in F2, okay? Third in the championship points. And F3, ninth in the championship points. His contract's out to 2023. So necessarily not the worst situation to have in F2 and F3, but no championships that I know of that I saw F2 and F3. Big shout out, Patrick. What's going on, fam? Big shout out, Fools. I see you. So let's look at Nick, okay? Because Nick might be different when it comes to driving for AlphaTauri. I don't know if Nick's going to be there really, really long. I don't. I'm really, as much as I'm paying attention to the Piastri situation, I'm really looking at Nick like, I think Nick might show up some kind of goodness. All right, but we're going to see. 2022, we already know 8th best grid position, Williams. 9th best position so far in Formula One with Williams, putting the Williams car in point, which is why Latifi got to go. This dude came off the couch, first time, like really participating in Formula One GP, does the whole qualifying, then puts our car in points. Nick, you put Latifi out of a job. I mean, Latifi technically put himself out of a job, but Nick, you helped him out the door, kicked him right out the door. I'm just saying. Galacticus, Yuki cannot handle the pressure. He freaks out. And that is a very good point. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation live. Galacticus, that's a very good point. We've seen it several times. By the way, I also didn't really care for that whole shenanigans. Yuki told him something was wrong with the car. They bring Yuki in twice, send him out there. Instead of telling Yuki to stop in pit lane and we could just end up pushing you back, they could shut pit lane down. They tell Yuki to roll out on track. He does what they tell him, and he brings out, say like, that whole situation was whatever, but it is what it is. But let's get back to Nick DeVries. 2020 Formula E champion, y'all. By the way, I believe driver for Mercedes. 2019 F2 champion, y'all. 2014 Renault champion, y'all. Renault champion. Nick got a lot of champion in his background, in his resumes. Nick also, if you go look at Nick's career path, Nick has a lot of experience through a lot of different series competing. Like, I'm like even wondering like what took dude so long to get on the grid. But like we say, seats don't come by often, already occupied, but the opportunity came for Nick. He got to test. He got to pretty much practice in the Mercedes, practice in the Aston. Next thing you know, he's damn near taking the Williams and putting on points, and now he has a seat. I like to see that. I like to see that for people, especially when I look in your back resume. Now, I know the whole relationship with Max Verstappen, crash strapping, daddy keep crying because my car, I don't think they making it happen. Sergio crashed, letting my mom tell his business, all that good stuff out there. They relationship, whatever, okay? But as far as I'm just talking about Nick, the driver, and what I see when it comes to Nick, the driver, is I see some things that could be promising. Remember, I'm not one of those guys that say, oh, yeah, he going to be great. He going to be great. Listen, I'm not doing that. What I will say, Galacticus, Nick brings that fire. He is going to cook Yuki, and I do think that's going to happen. I do honestly think, although I'm not saying Nick's going to be a good driver, a great driver, or a legend, right now I'm just saying I'm looking to see some promising things given what Nick has done in a very small glimpse of window, to be fair and honest. But with his background and what he has accomplished there, I think Nick beats Yuki out. And I think if that happens, unless Nick gets another job somewhere else because a seat opens up for him to drive on the grid with another team. But guess what? Don't go backwards, Nick. You starting with AlphaTauri. Don't go to Haas. Don't go to Williams. You done that. You've been there, done that. You done moved up the grid now. There could be possibly another opportunity coming for Nick in the next couple of seasons. If that happens sooner than later, I only see that saving Yuki. That's the only way I see AlphaTauri keeping Yuki is, well, also the Honda thing, because Thanos brought up the fact that Yuki his saving grace could be the fact that Honda, Japan company, Yuki, Japan is something that might be saving him. Market value, the whole thing could be. But if Nick's there and then another talent becomes available, or Danny Rick could possibly take that seat. I mean, Danny ain't doing nothing but damn picture tours and positive motivation speaking for Red Bull Racing, right? So what if they're like, yo, De Vries is that guy right now. Sergio's contract is supposed to be up 2024. So maybe, hey, they say, you know what? Perez, maybe we're going to go ahead and bring De Vries up. Let you go for greener pastures, if you want to call it that. Daniel, you going to hop your ass in the damn AlphaTauri with Yuki until further notice. And maybe that's what they do, right? Maybe. I'm just saying maybe. That could be. But it's crazy right now. But I think that Nick De Vries will come out to be the better driver, the number one driver. Mary Beanie, Red Bull going to switch hero with him, Checo. Switcheroo. Well, they gonna switcheroo. You think that Red Bull Racing will switcheroo Perez for Nick? Listen, as shady as that would be and right aligned with Red Bull's character, if they did something as asinine as that, they deserve what's coming after that. If you swap Perez for Nick, you deserve to get what's coming after that. Absolutely love the pick of Wolf and Seb, the greatest Red Bull. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, Blue Diva, what's popping? Akandu. Nick's talent gonna put pressure on Yuki to step his game up. Now, that is another good point. But if that was the case, why not with Gasly? Because he was getting drugged by Gasly in 2021, like 37 to 120 some points. That ain't 110 points. That's not no small feat. You got drugged by your teammate, technically. Come 2022, not so much, but still. So I'm always like, but this is a real thing, right? Sometimes people require different environments or elements in order to bring the best out of them. I'm the type like, yo, just go do your best regardless. Don't let something else be a catalyst for you to do your best. But the truth is that's not always how it works. So maybe Nick does bring some pressure to Yuki, and Yuki turns up another notch and definitely comes out flaming hot, right? Maybe. I don't think so, though. I wouldn't buy that, right? If you were trying to sell me that versus the other alternative, I'm not going to buy it. To me, I don't think that's going to happen. All right. So let's see what you all said in the poll. You all said Nick, 75% is going to be that driver to become number one. I agree. I agree with that. So I tell you what, let's go ahead, move on to the next team. And I got something to say about this team too. Alpine. Let's go on and move to Alpine. We got Gasly bouncing up AlphaTauri, bouncing into Alpine. Now I'm going to put the poll in the chat. See what you all say. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we got a poll in the chat coming. Don't dance. Don't dance on it. Just vote on it. And actually, and let me put his name first because he's the elder there. He's the senior there. All right, poll in the chat. Don't dance on it. Just vote on it. Which driver do you think will become the number one? Ocon or Gasly? Vote on that as we talk our way through this. Okay, as we exchange some ideas. Okay. Now, I do think that this team deserves a bit more excitement because I know, even myself, right? I was very thinking this could be crazy if Audi comes in, German manufacturer, German power unit, and they get a full German driver lineup. Mick, Seb, we were all kind of tossing that around like, yo, that would be a trifecta. Well, why not here? Alpine already has a trifecta. French manufacturer, French PU, and French drivers. They got the trifecta. Why are we not more excited about the Alpine unity? Why are we not more excited about that? I think it's because we're not really excited about these two drivers. I think both of these drivers bring a lot to question. I think Ocon is starting to have a ceiling in sight. I think a good amount of us are starting to see that Ocon might not grow beyond what he is right now. There may not be any more for Ocon to give us and for us to be like, yo, he's continuously growing at an exponential rate. I think it's slowing down for him, although not the worst driver on the grid. I think we would have expected to see a bit more from him if he was going to get past that plateau of being an okay driver to being a good driver to being a great driver to being and so on. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're seeing much glimpse of that now. Maybe like some of you just said in the chat that Nick going to AlphaTauri could spike Yuki. Maybe Gasly come in here could spike Ocon, right? Maybe the French trifecta has an adverse reaction. Maybe they want to decide who's the most French, right? Who's going to be El Capitan? It just maybe that's what Galacticus, Gasly, and Ocon is a tie. They both just regular. Thank you. And that's what I was also about to get to. And another reason why I don't think we're excited about it is because of Gasly. Gasly is all gas, right? He threw shade on Lewis Hamilton, trying to kiss ass, get back to Red Bull Racing. He was he up on the everybody desk trying to see what he gonna do. Can I pick up your paper clips? Can I get your papers? Can I file your drawer captain? Gasly was working hard out there, y'all. Hard in them streets to get back to Red Bull. Gasly's one of those talents that fell from the stars, bounced, and now he's kind of on an upward trajectory, right? Red Bull, Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri, and then now Alpine, right? So now we want to see, will this upward trajectory continue? Not many of us are excited about it, right? We think that we've seen what Gasly can do, but most question, what will Gasly do in a top tier car? Although I'm going to say Alpine, I think is the better team. I do. I think it's the better team, but I'll slay, I think, right? But if Gasly goes here, it's dangerous for him. So let's just look at this. 2021 Ocon, 11th World Championship points, 1 win, all right? 1 race win for Ocon. 2022, 8 in the World Championship with 92 points. If you look at 2022, what Ocon did, look at 2022, what Gasly did with 23, 14th. I'm telling you right now. Also, he finished ahead of Alonso. So Ocon finished ahead of Alonso, who's now at Aston. Gasly needs to take this opportunity and he better turn up or he's going to find himself at the team nearest the back door of Formula One. And we all know what 2 teams those are. And y'all are even split on the poll. The poll's 42 to 48. Nobody really knows. It's who's the best of the worst, right? That's what we kind of got. That's kind of where we are right now. Who's the best of the worst? So let's look at the 2021 Gasly 9th in championship points, 2022 14th. Now he goes from Red Bull to Toro to Alpha, now Alpine. His best season was 2019, where he finished 7th in the championship points. Also, it was his worst because as soon as he was promoted, he was demoted because Gasly got his shot at Red Bull as well and didn't really turn up much, just like we kind of saw. We did see, not kind of, we saw with Albon, couldn't turn up as much and then got shipped backwards to the JV team, and that's what happened. But his teammates, Max Verstappen, 2019, Max turned up 3rd in the championship points, while as Gasly trailed at 7th, 4 spots back. Carlos, 2017, Gasly, 21st championship points. So I'm going to go with Ocon. I think Ocon is not only going to be the senior there now that Alonso has left. I think Ocon shows him that he is the Frenchman of this French team, and there will be no other. Now, of course, one of the things I like about Ocon is this. Although a good guy, it seems to be. I didn't meet Ocon while I was at the race, or even have a brief moment to talk to him. I didn't even see him. But he seems to be one of those funny, get along, pretty cool guys, right? You know, Max Verstappen goes and pushes Ocon for coming down in that corner, and they collided. And then Max goes this season and does the same shit Ocon did, but thinks he was in the right. I don't know how that works. But Ocon, I think, has a streak where he can drive very competitively and not care. And we've seen this with Alpine. Alpine will allow their drivers to battle it out. We saw that with Alonso and Ocon in a race. Like, Alpine was like, hey, do what y'all do. Don't come in here unless you need tires or some shit break. Other than that, race it out. And they got to it. How will Gasly deal with that? All right, because if Gasly goes here and gets demolished by Ocon, all right, because Ocon's teammate was Alonso, and a lot of people, praise what Alonso's done. So if that's the case, you got to give Ocon some stripes for doing what he did. He finished in front of Alonso. I'm not putting too much stock in Gasly. I'm not. I'm just not. And evidently, it's kind of split between you all in the chat. 58% for Ocon and 42% for Gasly. So even you all are kind of split, but Ocon edges Gasly out. And I completely agree with that. This is going to be a critical year for Gasly. And if Gasly does not show up, at least even, like, let's say he gets beat by Ocon considerably or even marginally, if Alpine are not confident in his ability to be that counterpart, that other side of the garage to also help them as constructors, because I think right now Alpine, of course, is more focused on raising their constructor championship level versus them being concerned about their driver championship level. I do not believe that Alpine think that Ocon or Gasly are anywhere near championship status. I don't. So I think they're looking for a combination of drivers that can increase their constructor championship points. Sylvia Kelly, smash the like, is free and it helps the channel out. Big shout out Sylvia Kelly. She ain't lying, y'all. Just hit the like button. It's real quick. Click. It doesn't even stop you from listening or watching the video when you click it. It's like continuous. It's just click it. It's just boom. So yeah, I'm not putting much stock in Ocon. Cornbread, what's up? Yeah, Jay. But to be fair, Alonso had a lot of DNFs. I'm gonna give you I will also agree with that, but this is also what I will say. It's part of racing. I do understand that he did have some DNFs. I also understand he put that out there. Like we could say he put the energy out there and he reaped what he sowed, but you're right, Cornbread. He did have DNFs, and those DNFs disabled him from collecting other points where maybe he could have outperformed Ocon over the course of the season. That is true. That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point. You make a very fair point. Definitely that is the case. But still not far off from Alonso. He beat him, but I don't think Ocon would have been far off from Alonso, even if Alonso had been able to finish those races. But yes, you do have a very valid point. That is true. So let's get ready to go to our next team. Team Green. Green's supposed to be for geniuses. Aston Martin. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we're going to end this poll. We about to start another poll. Like I say, don't dance on it. Just vote on it. Just vote on it. I got to start copy and pasting this. I'm about to make this shit short as hell. Boom. And I'm about to copy and paste this damn thing so I don't have to keep typing it. All right, so we got, and I'm going to, Stroll is the senior there. All right, I'm giving it to Stroll, so I'm putting his name first. He is senior there. And then with Alonso, who do you think will become the number one driver? All right, who do you think will become, who becomes the number one? Stroll or Alonso? Who do you think? All right, and you all can vote on it as we talk it out. Okay, so I honestly think Stroll might lightweight make Alonso look like a damn rock star. I do. I think he might make them look like a rock star. Aston Martin stock just plummeted. That's what Blue Diva says. You know, Blue Diva, when you say things like that, you know, Wolfpack got to go kind of look at that because I have a, you know, the whole market right now is in kind of peril. But I like to look at things like that. So let's look at Aston Martin Holdings. Let's see what Aston Martin working with. Let's see what they got out here in the stock market. So Aston Martin, there it is. Aston Martin. Oh yeah, they got some issues. Oh, they got some issues falling off that to 31. Yeah, they definitely, definitely, you know, it got some issues. You're right. You're right, Blue Diva. You're right. Alonso is going to bully Stroll off the track. Now listen, Galacticus, hold on. I did say Stroll will lightweight make Alonso look like a rock star because I think while people criticized Esteban for the way he drove against Alonso, Ocon is a better driver to me than Stroll. Less wrecking, more pressure and aggression, but the ability to come out on the other side, although he's had his moments. Stroll seems to have those moments plenty. I'm talking about plenty. Stroll has had plenty of 5-second and 10-second penalties in the season. Stroll's going to make Alonso look like a rock star, but I think Stroll becomes a rock in Alonso's tire. I do. I think that if they get together and Stroll now feels like, yo, I got this dude in here. I had Seb. Seb brings off a different aura, a different vibe, right? Alonso's coming in here like he just the Spaniard of Boss Town, okay? He left Alpine because he felt like he wasn't going to get his way. He didn't want the one with a conditional one. He wanted a several multi-year. He wanted to feel like the king, and they weren't going to do that, but they should have did something because they didn't handle any of their business correctly. But now Alonso's at Aston, and he's feeling like, I'm that guy. Galacticus, Daddy Stroll will make his son number one hands down, and that is another valid point. Yo, Daddy run that team. Stroll dad run that team. Okay. But sometimes there comes a point where your very wealthy dad can kind of put you to the side just a tad for a guy that's up in age. He might be able to relate to. He's a 2-time champion. I think I'm going to give him a little bit more credit, son. And then next thing you know, a feud breaks out. And this is where I think can come where Stroll drives unneededly aggressively against Alonso and causes more incidents than that team needs. That team needs way more development than they need to be repairing shit. That's just real. But I think it could happen to where it doesn't work out so great. So Stroll's best result was third, 2017, 2021, and 2020 for his best results, okay? Several 5-second and 10-second penalties. We come down to Alonso, 2-time champion, 2005, 2006. But let's think about this. Because it's been said that while the guy, the greatest Red Bull driver and legend in Formula One, one of the legends, Vettel has a 4-time world champion. What did he bring to the team? Vettel, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, all the way through, straight through, quadrupled it. Youngest. Vettel finishes 12th in championship points 2020, 2021, and 2022. Stagnant. But there is something to be said about that, right? 2021, we go into 2022, regulations change, the car changes. Vettel remains 12. He remains 12. So he didn't fall. Although there was a considerable reason there where he should have fallen, he didn't. And Aston Martin had some problems. Vettel remained 12. What are they expecting two-time champion, 50% less than Vettel to do that Vettel couldn't do? That's what I want to know. I just don't really think Aston are selling themselves short. But I understand you want a senior driver in that seat. You want somebody with plenty of experience, especially to compare with somebody who has experience but drives like he's inexperienced in Stroll. I can understand that completely. Hopefully Stroll improves. But we already know Alonso going to do his thing, but he better bring more to Aston Martin after a year of development, after a year of learning, after a season of working out bugs, after a season in which you copied the Red Bull car to some degree to the point to earn the Green Bull name. If Alonso does not come here and finish higher than Vettel did, I'm telling you right now, that's shameful on his name. Galacticus, Stroll will crash Alonso if he is mad at dad, laugh aloud. Hey, he might throw the temper tantrum. He might. Cornbread said, best PR move Alonso could have asked for himself, and I'm not a fan, but game recognized game. Cornbread, and that's facts. That's big facts, right? To keep his name relevant, making that move, skating off like a thief in the night from Alpine and going right over to Aston Martin to sign that contract to be announced on social media to even the team's knowledge, that was something that definitely spiked Alonso's name and interest, okay? But when I'm looking at data and numbers, I'm just trying to think about this. What is he going to do? How is he going to finish? Okay, what is Alonso going to do and how will he finish? And I want to see if he finishes ahead of where Vettel finished in the car where they had to learn everything. Can Alonso take a car that has much more information, development, testing in the new season, and be able to bring that Aston Martin up? That's what I'm going to be looking for. If he doesn't do that, hey, I don't need to hear any more about people calling for Lewis Hamilton's job, Lewis Hamilton's career. You need to be focused on somebody who's got the longest, by record, the longest career in Formula One history and not doing the most. Lewis still out here Lewis still out here driving for real. All right, I'm not saying Alonso's trash because he's not, but come on, you can't call for Hamilton's career for he needs to retire, but you just look over Alonso like he don't need to retire. What's your real motive? When I have this conversation with people, I'm like, what's your real motive? Like, why is it that you went over Alonso, the oldest heel, to go over here to Hamilton, who's competing like a spring chicken? Like, I'm just saying he's competing with the top guys. So, yeah, say what you want. I'm not buying Stroll at all. I don't like to side with Alonso, but, hey, information and data speaks, and I think Alonso's got that number one seat. Even if he doesn't, he does. So I definitely think Alonso will have that, and evidently a good amount of you all do. 62% said Alonso, 38% said Stroll. You got a lot of hope for that guy. Hopefully he can make it happen, but I doubt it. I do doubt it. Let's go to our next team. And as proud as I should be about this team, I'm not really that proud, although I would like to be more proud about, the only American team on the grid, Haas. And I want to be, but I just can't right now. I would like to be. I even, reach out to him, see if maybe we could do something, but maybe we'll see. But Haas, altogether, around 20 years or seasons of experience between these two drivers. The 30 club. They 30ing it up. Magnussen, K-Mag, and Hulk. All right, K-Mag and Hulk sound like some superhero names. So I'm going to ask you in the chat, which driver do you got? Now, I think this one might be a bit more, like, you might have to really think about it more than you have to think about the others, because just what it is, Not like we're going to care that much, but it's still something. So poll in the chat, don't dance on it, just vote on it. Who do you think is going to become that number one driver, K-Mag or Hulk? So listen, like I said, 20-something seasons of experience between these two drivers combined at Haas. Best on the grid for K-Mag is 1. We know he got that lonely pole position, due to some underlying circumstances, and the red flag didn't continue and he gets it. But best results, 2nd in 2014. Best world championship point standing in 2018, 9th. Multi-year deal with Haas currently. Let's look at Hulk. Best grid position first. Best result, 4th, 2012, 2013, and 2016. Best championship standings, 7th in 2018. Both of these drivers' best championship standings are in the same season. But K-Mag finishes 2 spots behind Hulk. All right, 2 spots behind Hulk. But still, 2018 seemed to be that year where they were shining, baby. So then listen to this. What's going to be the deciding factor? What's going to split the difference where these two drivers will emerge, one as the number 1 and one as the clear number 2? I don't know. And I'm waiting to see. Like, Hulk is that guy they call in anytime they need to fill a spot and they want something not to go totally to hell. And to be fair, he does that. He comes in, he's solid, drives well, does what they need him to do. He's out. See you. Call me when you need me again. Here he is back. Maybe the same thing happens for Danny Rick, right? Maybe. Goes out, somebody calls, hey, Danny, hey, come drive for us. 1-year deal. Come on. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. Danny's going to get a moped and drive across the United States of America. He's on some Forrest Gump shit. Galacticus, give K-Mag a good car and he will get some points. I don't doubt it. And a lot of people like K-Mag. You know what I'm saying? I think probably for good reason. A lot of people like K-Mag. So I really don't know what to think about this pairing except for the fact it's just well seasoned. And I don't expect much. But with the white Ferrari coming into a new season, and they brought the least amount of updates this current season. I don't know how much development they're going to get. They do share offices with Ferrari. They have the Ferrari power unit. They are the white Ferrari, another team coined after another team due to the fact of its body and aero development, just like Aston Martin to Red Bull, although they don't have anything in common there. Ferrari and Haas do. They share offices, wind tunnels, I believe, power units. So there's some connection there for that to be that. So will we see a car elevate next season to the point where maybe these two can do a bit better? Maybe they become king of the backs of the grid, right? Maybe that does happen. Maybe they even shift up mid-tier a little bit more. Maybe they do that, right? Maybe they actually have a better season than most people are thinking, and Haas just comes out and bosses shit. I doubt it. But what driver am I going to go with in this situation? It's rough for me. Like, I really couldn't lock down and say, like, K-Mag right off the back. I'm split on this, and if I gotta pick one, I'm only picking K-Mag because he's been there. He's driven the car. He's been putting in on development. He's been committed. He's got the multi-year deal. I'm going to go with K-Mag, although I think Hulk has a pretty good chance to come in and kind of edge him out. But it's a 1-year deal for him, multi-year deal for K-Mag. But who knows if those circumstances changes depending on performance changing. So not too much on Haas. Like, I just really couldn't pick. And some of you are like really crazy on the K-Mag. Y'all 84% for K-Mag, 16% for Hulk. I'm going for K-Mag too. I don't know if it's for the same reasons as you all, but I'm definitely going for K-Mag. But damn, I mean, let's see what happens there. And here we go to the next team. We're going to end this poll. End that poll. We're going to end this poll and we're going to the next team. And it is a team that many of us have wondered about to see what's going to happen and see how it's going to go down. Aston is not it. It's McLaren. It's McLaren. McLaren. I know as much as Alonso and Stroll, and they're going to get into the dad, that's my daddy. And Alonso going to be like, no, that's my new dad. And you can't have them. And they're going to get into a fight over there at Aston Martin. McLaren is the place where beef could be. Now, earlier I said that Nick is like my most interesting driver to see how he does. I'm very interested to see how this pairing turns out between these two drivers. That's what I'm interested to see. So who do you have becoming the number one driver here? Poll in the chat. Don't dance on it. Just vote on it. I don't want to see thongs. I just want to see polls go up and people vote on them. Don't show me no thongs. Just vote on the poll. Don't dance on it. But who do you think is going to become that number one driver? Is it going to be Lando? Is it going to be Piastri? No Formula One driving in the grid race experience? Or is it going to be Lando's going to say, hey, I already shipped Danny Rick out. I shipped him out. And he did, okay? So let's look at some of Lando's teammates, right? And then let's compare some of the other things, because Piastri doesn't have like any Formula One experience, which was crazy. He's at Alpine. Alpine drops the ball, right, on contracts, and then Alonso leaves them. Alonso vacates. If Alonso doesn't leave Alpine, they're still keeping Piastri on the back, and then they're whoring him out to Williams, right? He didn't want that. So he realized, Alpine, you didn't handle your business. Cool. I'm going to McLaren. Yo, dude comes into a team that I think is that like that's a dream position, but can he fill the position? That's what we want to know. So Lando's teammates, Carlos, 2019, 6th in world and championship points. Lando, 11th in championship points, getting outclassed by Carlos. 2020, Carlos again, 6th in championship points. Lando, 9th. Lando makes progress, comes up 3 spots behind Carlos. Then 2021, he gets Danny Rick. Danny Rick 8th. Lando 6th. Now Lando takes the lead for his team. Lando's that guy now. Okay. 2022, Danny Rick 11th. Lando 7th. Ships Danny Rick out. Now you get Piastri in here. So he outscored Danny Rick, not so much with Carlos. So if we look at some things, we can kind of say, okay, you're better than Danny Rick, but you weren't quite better than Carlos. Where does Lando sit? Now Lando's going to get an opportunity to see. Now, this is a very sensitive thing for Lando, right? Because Lando has the most to lose coming into this. If Lando shows up and Oscar shows up and Oscar outperforms Lando, it doesn't look good for Lando, right? It doesn't look good for him. And it's going to be an indictment on Lando. Well, your ceiling was Carlos. You beat Danny, but now Oscar comes in and beats you. That's not a very good situation for Lando to be in, although he'll get another chance because I believe McLaren is behind Lando as far as him being their future. But Oscar is now here, and McLaren have made some decisive moves to get Oscar, and Oscar may very well have the opportunity to switch that light from being the future of Lando to being the future of Piastri. Both McLaren are questionable. I have no clue. I can understand that. So let's do some comps, okay? F2, Lando. F2 for Lando, he comes in 2nd in championship points, 2018. F2 for Piastri, he gets the championship in 2021. So now we got Oscar 1, Lando 0 for F2, okay? F3, 2017, Lando gets the championship. F3 for Oscar, 2020, he gets the championship. So now we 2-1. Oscar up, Lando still down 1. Okay. F3 2017, Lando championship. No. We're going to Renault. F Renault, Lando 2016 championship. F Renault for Oscar Piastri 2019 championship. 3-2, right? 2 points. So we still up on Oscar. F4 Brit 2015 for Lando championship. F4 Brit 2017 for Piastri, 2nd. Those numbers, it's kind of hard. I'm kind of with you, Galactic. It's like it's really questionable. If you're just going off the comps before Formula One to where these drivers participated in some of the similar or the same series, their outcomes are very, very similar. Very, very similar. Okay? So I don't really know how this goes. Right now, I lean towards Lando, 1, because he has experience with the car and development. 2, I believe McLaren is very, very behind Lando to be the future. 3, Lando beat his teammate, which was a flaming out star in Danny Rick at that point in time. I think we all could agree after moving 3 teams and getting the bag and then failing to really rise to the occasion of what Zach Brown thought he could be. Very disappointing performance by Daniel. And I'm going to say this. Plenty of people say, yo, the car wasn't right for Danny. He made that comment several times in different ways. Listen, you need to be able to adapt your talents to the car to some degree to be successful. If you cannot do that, that is indeed an indictment on one of your abilities or lack of ability. If, it happens, right? It does happen. It's not saying that you're garbage. It's just saying that you aren't as good as adapting as we would like you to be. We want to be able to basically develop this car to be the fastest car. Now, it's different when a team develops a car toward a driver and then the other driver struggles, although kind of still similar, but you're developing the car unequally or unfairly toward a driver, and then another driver is having to adjust to that versus, listen, guys, we're going to develop this car to be the fastest this car can be with the parts we have, with the testing we have, with the technology we have, and then you all take this product that we put out and make it work. That's a bit more fair, okay? It's not like, Lando, what do you want out of the car? Lando, what do you want us to do with the car? Lando, do you want it to be twitchy in the front or you want to oversteer? What do you want? What do you want? When they develop the car to the car and then say to both drivers, make it happen, it's a little bit more equal. And Danny Rick didn't do well in that season. Lando did. And I'm not saying that maybe McLaren didn't develop the MCL towards Lando. I never got that type of energy from McLaren. So Danny Rick couldn't do it, and that's why he's out. And he's out for other reasons. He said he's taking a back seat. And I don't even know if Danny Rick's going to come back, but we'll see. Because the Red Bull Reserve driver job, no, hold on. The Red Bull Reserve PR job is not really a driver. And he said that even in his grid talk, okay? So I didn't just say it. He said it. But with Piastri going there, I'm not sure. I know Piastri's got some damn gumption about himself to make the moves and the decisions he made and to come out on top. So we're going to see what happens. Like, testing is going to be very interesting. The season is going to be very interesting to see what happens between these two. And I'm going to be watching it. Also, Lando's second Aussie teammate driver, Daniel from Australia, Oscar representing from Australia. So can Piastri do a better job than Danny Rick did? And if Piastri does indeed do a better job, we'll have to give him a little bit of a curve because he's coming into a car that they now understand a bit more, have more knowledge about, data about, and will develop a better car hopefully next season. So we're going to give a little bit of a curve. But if he doesn't do considerably better than Danny Rick, then it also might be an indictment on him. But we got to give him a few seasons to kind of see what he's going to do, right? Quarterback comes into the NFL. I say give that quarterback 3 seasons. The first season, no team has tape on him. He should do pretty good. The second season, they got tape on you. They pretty much know how to strategize and game plan against you. You're going to take a seat back. The third season shows me if you can adapt, reinvent yourself, and go out here and overcome these challenges that they now have set for you after observing you. That's when I say the third season will tell you if a quarterback is going to excel or he's going to be stagnant or he's going to fall back. I'm going to give Piastri the same type of understanding. 2 seasons. Let me see what you're going to do, Piastri. That's what I want to know. Let's see what you're going to do. Lando is you all choice as well, 73%. And I'm with that. I am with that. Oscar is a star that hasn't done much in a car in Formula One. He's done other good things, evidently, as we see, but in Formula One, nothing yet. And we want to see what he's going to do there. All right, so let's get ready to go to our last and least team on the grid. And that team will be Williams, now recently acquiring the grid's latest American driver in Formula One. So the question in the poll still stands. What driver do you think becomes number 1? And I'm going to put Albon first because he's senior there. And Logan next. And you let me know which driver you think is going to become that number 1. Now, we already had a video about Logan, about Sargent, and about some of the things that are behind him or within his family and his name and his parents and some of the other dealings he's had. And many of you have brought some things to my attention about some of his posts and his Magna post and all that stuff. I'm definitely not with that Make America Great Again shit. Like, that's just another way to say you a Confederate or a bigot sometimes. I'm just being real and honest with you. If you would like, you can point out to me, as far as when it comes historically of equal treatment to people, because really that's what that stands for, where it was really ever that great. Still a growing process. I'm an American and I'm willing to meet that. I also fought for my country. I also served my country. So, hey, I feel you. All right. But yeah, with this being the case, Albon, Toro, Red Bull, Williams. So unlike Gasly, the bounce, Albon's kind of like this, and he's been falling. Okay, he's with Williams, but also a good guy, cool dude. Met Albon, cool dude. Also very informative when it comes to feedback for the team and development. He helped Yuki. He assisted with the acquisition and a handshake with Perez. Very good dude. I think it's very unfair how his mother is treated as it goes to the grid. Meanwhile, Joss can go out here and try to run somebody over with a car, Verstappen's dad, and still be welcomed on the grid like nobody's business. She clearly did wrong. He clearly did wrong. I mean, it's called vehicular homicide. I think it was attempted murder, what he was up for before with the charges. And, it panned out where I guess he didn't get that. Came back, said, oh, he didn't mean to run me over or try to kill me with the car. She was involved in something that had to do with finances. Nowhere near life-threatening nor violent. And how they treated her, I think, is unjust, and it's an indictment to show how the culture of Formula One is as for a majority. Let that woman on the grid to support her son. Galacticus, Albon needs to step up or lose his seat next year. I agree. And that is what I'm going to get to. Best grid finish, 4th 2020. Best result, 2020. Best world championship points, 2020. We all know who he was with, 2020. All right, he was with Red Bull, 2020. And we saw him struggle several times in races. We saw the team radio consistently try to get him to push. At that point in time in Albon's life, he didn't have that aggressive streak to like push and do the things that they wanted him to do as a driver to manipulate and take the most advantage of that car. And that's why he found himself out of that seat and now at Williams trying to prove himself that he can do it and that he can be that driver. And I think Albon did decent last season. I think he showed that he's not done. I think he showed that he indeed can turn that leaf and give teams what they may need. And I think if he does a good job this season, I don't know if he stays at Williams, but if something else opens up, maybe they like Albon. Maybe they don't. Albon could indeed be a career Williams driver, which is not a necessarily bad thing, right? You got a seat, you got a paycheck, you're in Formula One, you're not out of the door. So that might be Albon ceiling, like we talked about. Ocon ceiling is starting to come in view if it hasn't already been in view for you. But I think he showed me a glimpse of maybe he can do some things to get some things right. So hold on. Hey, what's going on? I'm on live. What's up? Okay, that's fine. Bye. So yeah, I gotta take that. Hey, I'm always about family, and I told y'all today we had family funeral. So once they told me, hey, I'm on. Once I say I'm on live, and they tell me, okay, it's not important, then I go. But if they said no, it's important, then I would have had to take that call and mute y'all. But hey, we still good here. They good. They eating. They over there, and I'm here with y'all, and then I will go and be with them for that. So listen, so that's what it is. So let's look at Logan. Let's look at some more comps. We kind of have to do this like we did Lando and Piastri, right? Because Logan, no real Formula One experience as far as driving. So we need to do some comps as far as when Albon competed in those series, F2, F3, F4, and came up 083. What's up, baby? Appreciate the sticker. And Logan. So let's look at this. Albon F2, third in championship points, 2018. Okay. F2 for Logan, fourth in 2022. So right there and then, what? We got 1 point already for Albon. None right there for Logan, okay? So when it comes to F3, seventh in championship points, 2015 for Albon. F3 for Logan, third in 2020. So now we got a point for Logan. F3 did better, considerably better than Albon did when he was in F3. Now we're going to go to the F Renault. F Renault, 2014, third for Albon. F Renault, 2018 for Logan, 4th. I did not see anything Britt for that. So that, Logan 3rd, 2017, but none of those comps for Albon. So as it stands, Albon participating in those same series that Logan also participated in, Albon outscores him by at least 1 point, 2-1, given that. So is it possible? I didn't see any championships there for Logan, so it's not like Piastri. Piastri evidently proved to be a better driver in those series as he was on his way up. Nick DeVries definitely proved to be a better driver in plenty of series on his way up. But Logan, I don't know. Is Logan a driver who definitely did well, 3 and 4th, like top 5 finishes ain't nothing to just bat your eye at. He did that. But is it because of the money? We talked about his uncle's money. We talked about his name, how he carries his uncle's name. He might be a very paid earned driver, selected probably because of the money that also will come with him. And we'll see how that works out. We'll see how that Safina brand on the back of that Williams car either disappears or will it remain. Maybe Michael says, I want to keep supporting Williams. I also have a stake in McLaren, and that's just what I'm going to do. Oh, I like that super sticker, that peach. What's up? Thanks, Mary Beanie. Big shout out to you for that. No, I'm good. Like I said, we went to the funeral. We had the military ceremony after the funeral. We did all that. So, I had to be there, Ura Navy. So we were there for that, for the flag. I did all that with my family, chilled. And then, packed all the flowers up, put all the stuff in the car, all the pictures in the car. Then, boom, came back here, get things straight. And then I will go there. Sometime, depending, your mind don't need to be in it the whole time like that. You already in it. People are already going to be calling you. So it's like, hey, we're going to do this. And at the end of the day, he lived a good life, and unfortunate how he went. And I'm glad he's not suffering anymore. And now I feel better. And my dad feels better that he's now moved on and we don't have to see him go through that. Right. So, bittersweet, but we going to do this. And we got the E-race tomorrow, right? We got the E-race tomorrow. Good things are happening. We growing as a community. I love y'all. Y'all always do. Y'all always been here. It's going to keep growing. So big shout out to you all. Really, really, really. And it shows I wouldn't be here for y'all if I didn't care about y'all, right? If I didn't care to do what we got to do. We got a lot of big things coming. We still got Discords to build, which is going to be coming. We got a new workstation coming in. We got all types of things. I got to keep going for y'all. The next season going to be here before you know it, all right? We ain't got a lot of time, so I'm trying to make it count because y'all deserve my absolute best. And trust me, I took care of family, and I'm going to take care of family again. So we here momentarily, and we'll be here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for that grudge race. If you want to participate, you better hit me up. But let's get back to this. I don't know. And I don't know how I'm going to feel, but evidently 83% of y'all said Albon might be that guy and Logan might be shy. 83% of y'all. By the way, Logan picked his number 2 because his number was 3, I think, but 3's taken. So he got the number 2. We'll see if he going to be number 2 at the team of Williams. Maybe Albon say, no, but dog, I'm tired of being the backseat. I'm tired of being the soft guy. Your ass going to be number 2 driver. I'm number 1 in here. I'm saying it in the nicest Albon way I can. And we'll see what happens on track. We'll see if Logan can outdrive Alex, and we'll go from there. Hoorah, Navy all the way. Salute. You know that. Big shout out, Sylvia Kelly. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Blue Diva. Appreciate you, Mary. Appreciate you, Galacticus. Appreciate you, Patrick. What's up? Everybody. Dario, all of y'all. Philip King, all of y'all. Appreciate y'all much. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm going to lean towards Albon. I'm going towards Albon. I like Albon. Like I said, he's a cool dude when I met him. I like him. I think he's proven himself that he's not done in Formula One. And I think he did a decent job at Williams, given what Williams is known to provide. We've all seen Russell was at Williams and struggled, but still did the best. And when you see a driver do the best with less, and now he gets the best and he's doing a damn good job, I'm going to wonder if Albon continues to progress as a driver. Maybe he found that next gear to get beyond that plateau that Red Bull could not help him get past. And now maybe Albon is going to excel as a Formula One driver. And who knows what doors will open for him later. Logan is going to have to come in here and prove himself with Williams as an entry, not getting it like Oscar. Oscar had Alpine and then McLaren. Woo! That right there is a hot take, hot move. Logan comes in with Williams. We'll see what happens. I do believe Williams should be doing a bit more for Jamie. I do. I think they should be doing a bit more for Jamie. Also being one of the team on the grid to have Susie Wolf as a reserve driver at some point in time in their history. And then a woman owner as in their history. I think they should have did a bit more for Jamie to try to bring her in. She's going to be participating in IndyCar, Indy next. So I'm going to be watching Jamie in Indy next and see how she progresses there. Hopefully she does well, gets the IndyCar. And then hopefully if Jamie does that, it's going to look real bad for Williams if Jamie goes there and competes really well. And then they look like, well, why you had her in the garage? Why you didn't do nothing? Like she came to Indy and like performed. And a lot of people are like, oh, if she don't even win a championship, if Jamie goes to Indy and is a top 10 driver, shut your mouth. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. But either way it goes, I'm still wishing the best for her and other women that are drivers participating in the sport and are unfairly judged due to circumstances. All right, so let's see what happened. Did you see the cringe-worthy FIA prize giveaway ceremony? The president getting his mic out for trying to address the incident between FIA and I'm trying to tell you, I know Mary all over that shit. She was all over that. Yes. So that's what we got for these drivers. You all said 84% said Albon. I ain't mad at you for that. Not at all. So that we'll see what happens. I think we honestly have the makes. Oh shit, hold on. Hello. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I'm gonna take care of you. I got you. I got it. I'm on my way. All right. Hey guys, that's that call. I gotta go take care of this. While they going on, I gotta go take care of something else. So listen, I hoped it wouldn't happen, but it did happen. I'm that person in the family where I hold shit together. I'm gonna have to go take care of that. Okay. So listen, peace, love. Thank you, everybody. I will be here tomorrow. Nothing's going to stop me from that, but I got to go handle something. Peace and love. I'm going to see y'all later.